Hi, my name is Peggy McKee and I am the medical sales recruiter. And I thought today I would show you a little bit about how it works inside a recruiting firm when we look at resumes. So I want to show you this stack. It's pretty impressive. This is the stack of all the resumes of people in the last 3 weeks who have applied to PhD Consulting, who their resume does not exhibit the characteristics that we look for in resumes. And we place folks in medical sales, healthcare sales, imaging, laboratory equipment, all of those healthcare medical related sales positions. That's what we do, and these are the resumes that we've received in the last, say, 2 or 3 weeks. And I thought we would go through some of these and then I could show you what some of the knockout factors are. So I've got a whole group of resumes here, and I've gone through and I've tried to make sure that you can't see the name of the person, but I thought we could all learn from each other's mistakes, right? So here's number one. So this candidate, nice resume here, looks really good, nice clean presentation, right? But you know, his objective here is to obtain a medical device sales position selling innovative medical technology. Now, you might say, well, what's wrong with that, Peggy? Well, not all hiring managers and not all recruiters and even not all HR people are very open-minded. And so if their position is laboratory services and you've got on here medical device, they throw your resume away. I wouldn't do that, but others would. This candidate, again, nice resume, nice clean presentation as well, right? He didn't put his address on here. I don't know where he lives. I know where he went to college. He went to college in Utah. I know that he worked for a company that was based out of Fort Worth. But I have no idea whether he lives in Texas or in Utah. And you might say, well, what about his phone number? Well, he has a Texas phone number there, but I've actually called a lot of people who have a different phone number than where they live because of their company phones or where they got their first cell phone or whatever. So, and the other thing is you just don't want to make a recruiter have to guess. And HR folks and hiring managers aren't going to take the time to do it. So you need to have your resume or your address on here. So this next candidate doesn't have an objective. I have no idea what they want to be, other than looking back on what they've been. So, you know, I think you need an objective. The resume looks good, but there's no objective. I want to know what you want to do, but I don't want you to be too specific because you'll knock yourself out. Now this person has a great, nice objective: pharmaceutical sales representative, medical sales account executive. I like that a whole lot. And she actually has bullet points here. You can see the bullet points. But underneath her job, she has this in a paragraph format. And I don't read full paragraphs. And you know, you might think that's being cranky or picky, but you got to understand, I'm your typical recruiter. I'm your typical HR person. Well, I'm not really your typical HR person or your typical recruiter, but recruiters, HR folks, and hiring managers don't spend a lot of time reading paragraphs on resumes. So here she lost the opportunity to tell me about $100,000 in monthly sales increase because she didn't put this in a bullet point format. Okay. This next candidate doesn't have an objective, has a lot of functional experience, but I can't tell anything about the industry. I don't know who Rosen whatever is. I don't know what they sell. I know he was an account executive there, but he doesn't tell me anything about that. Oh, and the other thing is, if he's applying to me, he's trying to get into medical sales, but there aren't any keywords on here. So he hasn't joined any associations. He hasn't done any preceptorships. He hasn't put biology or chemistry or anything on here that makes me think that he really meant to apply for a medical sales position. Okay, so this person, let's see. Pretty good resume. We've got an objective, position as a sales representative. It's got bullet points, has numbers under it. His resume achieved 116%, was over profit by 103%. You know, got the XYZ award for the top sales rep, so that's actually pretty good. I don't see a problem with this one. Now this person, it's a 5-page resume, and this is an account executive. No account executive should have a 5-page resume. And this person doesn't have an objective, but has a management summary. But the last job that this person worked was as a substitute teacher. So when I see that the last job was a substitute teacher, I don't necessarily think that a management summary is the best thing up there. Plus, there's no objective, and this person has some trouble with, there are some lines that are left justified, some that are right, and some that are centered, which makes me think he's not real comfortable with his computer. Or he didn't send his resume to someone else and have them check it. This person has a pretty interesting resume. Actually graduated from Notre Dame, which I like that. That's a college that makes you look twice. But he describes himself as an extroverted, altruistic leader. But guess what? I don't have any idea what he wants to be. He's got a science background, but I don't know if he wants to be in the laboratory, if he wants a technical support job, or if he wants a sales job. So you see what we have here when you look at these stacks of paper, and here's your competition right here. I mean, they're all out there, and there's tons and tons of resumes, and they all have these issues on them, and probably yours does as well. So all I wanted to do was kind of give you an idea of what it's like when you're a recruiter or an HR person or a manager going through these resumes, how decisive you can be and what items can actually be knockout factors. Okay, so I hope this has helped. I wish you the best of luck. Right below this video, I'm going to put a link to a site where you can actually go and get a resume template, and I've actually put together over an hour of audio coaching on how to do these documents in order to get into medical sales. So I wish you the best of luck. I hope this was helpful, and I enjoyed talking to you.